Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. We are honoured to welcome Yang Berbahagia Datuk Profesor Insinyur Dr. Kamal Nasharuddin Mustafa, Vice Chancellor, Universiti Tenaga Nasional, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Profesor Dr. Sudin Harun, President and Chief Executive Officer of Kuala Lumpur Business School, Yang Berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Haji Amanuddin bin Shamsuddin, Chairman ISEBA 2020, and Dean, College of Business Management and Accounting, Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Campus, Uniten, participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International Symposium and Exhibition on Business and Accounting 2020, ISEBA 2020, with the theme Embracing IR 4.0 towards Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you for being here with us this morning. We hope that ISEBA 2020 will become a tradition in Uniten as a platform for us to share information and knowledge from panel of experts for the benefit of the society. Thank you, participants, for your continuous support of the ISEBA 2020. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Let us begin this auspicious ceremony by calling upon Ustaz Afiq Adli bin Razali to lead the recitation of Dua or observation, a moment of silence. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalam ala ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka khallaqul azim. Innaka sami'un alim. Innaka ghafurur rahim. Innaka rabbul arshil azim. Innaka barrul jawadul karim. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim. Praise be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, for those who followed his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the International Symposium and Exhibition on Business and Accounting 2020, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessings to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event, from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of events that will detrimental the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide College of Business Management, University Tenaga Nasional, Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Campus to greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Grant us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind to gain your mardatillah. Make us your righteous servant that followed your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoings. Ya Munzil al-Barakat, bestow peace to our beloved country Malaysia. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made nor natural disaster. And to you, Ya Allah, we ask for security and prosperity upon us, our leaders and our country. Bestow patience in us to face the challenges from you. Please accept our deeds and please reward us accordingly. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Ustaz Afiq Adli bin Razali. Now, without further ado, we would like to invite Yang Berusaha Associate Professor Dr. Haji Amanuddin bin Shamsuddin, Chairman of ISEBA 2020, to deliver his welcoming speech. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words for the opening of ISEBA 2020. Firstly, I would like to welcome all participants into the International Symposium and Exhibition on Business and Accounting, or better known as ISEBA 2020. This year's ISEBA marks another milestone for College of Business Management and Accounting, or COBA, to be able to organize a virtual symposium. It is a great learning experience for us, especially the committee members. A lot of areas need to look into and consider in ensuring that the virtual symposium will run smoothly. We pray to Allah that ISEBA 2020 shall proceed as planned, inshallah. Secondly, I would like to acknowledge our sponsor, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, and our collaborator, Yayasan Chancellor Uniten, or YCU, for such generosity and kind support. Also, I would like to thank you to the participants who come from various universities. They either send their research papers or poster exhibitions. As a record, this year's ISEBA managed to gather 74 research papers and 3 posters, and also 9 postgraduate proposals for the PG colloquium coming from 9 universities. Inshallah, those accepted papers will be published in the Global Business and Management Research (GBMR), which is international journals. This GBMR is an era index journal. The theme for ISEBA 2020 is Embracing IR 4.0 towards Sustainable Development Goal. The ever-changing industrial landscape, especially with the imminent arrival of Industrial Revolution 4.0, would certainly require academics, researchers, and businesses to integrate business with technology. Thus, this year's theme is very timely and appropriate. Next, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the keynote speaker for ISEBA 2020, Yang Bahagia Datuk Professor Dr. Sudin bin Harun, President and Chief Executive Officer of Kuala Lumpur Business School. Your remarks and sharing of your knowledge on the symposium theme are looked forward by participants, and we hope that it will spur our discussions and future research in this area. My sincere thank you also goes to our Datuk Vice Chancellor, Yang Bahagia Prof. Datuk Kamal Nasruddin Mustafa, for virtually officiating this ISEBA 2020. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere thank you and appreciation to all committee members who have worked very, very hard to ensure the success of ISEBA 2020. May Allah reward all of us for the good deeds, and may Allah also grant us His blessing so that ISEBA 2020 will run smoothly, inshallah. With that, thank you, stay safe, and take care. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the main event for today. It is therefore our honor, privilege, and great pleasure to invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Professor Insinyur Dr. Kamal Nasruddin Mustafa, Vice Chancellor, University Tenaga Nasional, to deliver his opening speech and officiate the event, followed by a multimedia presentation. Please welcome Yang Berbahagia Datuk.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. It gives me a great pleasure today to warmly welcome all invited speakers and participants to the International Symposium and Exhibition on Business and Accounting 2020, ISEBA 2020 via virtual platform. It is a great honor for College Business Management and Accounting, COBA, to host this academic symposium again this year, which upholds the mission of University Tenaga Nasional, Unit 10, that is to strive to advance knowledge and learning experience through research and innovation that will best serve human society. Special mention is given to College of Business Management and Accounting, COBA, for their consistent effort and aspiration in organizing ISEBA 2020, which enables participants to share experiences and exchange ideas in line with the theme of ISEBA 2020, embracing IR 4.0 towards sustainable development goals. Nowadays, the evolution of the production and industrial process known as Industrial Revolution 4.0 or IR 4.0 has potential impacts on sustainability and environment. This IR 4.0 is coping with the necessity of producing within environmental constraints in order to be geared to sustainability. The main environmental pressure that digital technologies are suffering is related to the increasing trend in energy demand and the urgent requirement of adopting low-carbon energy systems. The increasing trend in the literature dealing with sustainability within the IR 4.0 paradigm reinforces the relevance of the topic as well as the various aspects that can plausibly be addressed in this symposium and can be turned into actionable strategies to fit into the vulnerable modern economy through business technology synergy. I hope that enthusiastic participants will be able to draw new ideas and theories for enrichment of best practices in all sectors of our respective economies and strengthen our relationship in knowledge sharing as platform for collaboration on future initiatives. ISEBA 2020 manages together research papers from a full range of accounting, marketing and entrepreneurship, finance and economics, business management, law and social science, and science and technology disciplines. Participants from local universities such as University Malaya, University Technology Mara, University Malaysia Sabah, University Technology Petronas, and Multimedia University have come together to share their latest research findings and brainstorm new research ideas across disciplines. I'm also pleased to announce that ISEBA 2020 attracts a total of 74 research articles, reflecting overwhelming support by researchers. I would like to congratulate the ISEBA 2020 Organizing Committee for their tremendous commitment to ensure this important event is a success. It is my hope that this accomplishment continues to flourish in the future. I would also like to thank the symposium's entire sponsors for their great support to make this symposium a reality. Eventually, I express my special gratitude and appreciation to Yang Berbahagia Datuk Profesor Dr. Sudin bin Harun, President and Chief Executive Officer of Kuala Lumpur Business School, for supporting us and his willingness to grace this symposium as the keynote speaker. Not to be forgotten, the main sponsor, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, and the collaborator, Yayasan Chancellor Unitan. In conclusion, I encourage all researchers to participate actively in the thought-provoking discussions over this one-day symposium. I wish all participants a fruitful symposium. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, I officially declare the opening of the International Symposium and Exhibition on Business and Accounting 2020, ISEBA 2020. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Professor Dr. Sudin Harun, President and Chief Executive Officer of Kuala Lumpur Business School, to deliver his keynote speech titled Industrial Revolution 4.0, Creating a New World Order. Yang Berbahagia Datuk, the room is yours. Dato Professor Dr. Sudin Harun is one of the world's renowned scholars in Islamic banking and finance, as well as in business and management. He is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Kuala Lumpur Business School and Chairman of CIFP Consultants Sdn Berhad. He has published more than 10 books and 70 articles in international journals. He was attached with the Central Bank of Malaysia as a specialist at the Islamic Banking and Takaful Department from 2005 to 2006. In 2006, he was appointed as the Deputy Chief Executive of INSAF, International Center for Education in Islamic Finance. Before joining the Central Bank, Dato Dr. Sudin served the Northern University of Malaysia in various capacities as an academician and administrator. Prior to that, he was a banker for more than 12 years. Presently, he is an adjunct professor at University Sultan Zainal Abidin Terengganu and a visiting professor at University Malaysia Kelantan. At the international level, Dato Dr. Sudin is the chairman of the International Advisory Panel of the Russian International Center for Islamic Economics and Finance and one of the resource persons of Islamic Development Bank, Saudi Arabia.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good morning to all of you. First, I'd like to say thank you to the organizer who invited me to speak this morning for the topic that is very critical for us at this moment. First, not only that we are facing the changing world because of industrial revolution, but also the pandemic of COVID-19. So as a result of this, the world will be changing. Now, everybody must keep abreast with this changing world. So I think because of this symposium is very important that we share our knowledge. And then not only that we share our knowledge based on our past experience, but also we have to predict what would happen in the future. So because of that, I should say that it is timely for this topic to be shared, to be discussed among not only people from the industry, but more importantly, people in the academic world, so that we can cope up with this changing environment. Now, the organizer gave me a topic, Industrial Revolution 4.0, creating a new world order. Actually, everything in this world is changing all the time. For example, as Hercules mentioned, that there is nothing permanent except change. And then the famous United States President John F. Kennedy says, "For time and the world do not stand still. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future." So that means everything will be changing. So we have to look past, present, and future. And as Muslim, we always remember that in the Quran, Al-Anfal, verse 53, because Allah will never change the grace which He has bestowed on the people until they change what is in their soul. And verily, Allah is He who hears and knows. And similarly, in Al-Rad, Allah mentioned that for each one a success angel before and behind him who protect him by the decree of Allah. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of the people until they change what is in themselves. So that is we should always remember as Muslim that everything will be changing. Now, we as a person must not stand still. So we must change and adapt and adopt what is around us. So definitely will be changing all the time. So as far as when we mention about industrial revolution, let's we look back the history, what has happened from the early days of industrial revolution until this age. So as you are remember, uh, stage in industrial revolution first phase at the end of 18th century. Okay, you see in my slide, introduction of mechanical production using hydroelectric and steam powered equipment in 1784. This is the first mechanical loom. And then second phase, beginning of the 20th century, introduction of mass production, specialized good using electricity. Okay, as you're aware that in 1913, first permanent assembly line by Ford. Ford is the father of the Industrial Revolution. Most people said he introduced the first permanent assembly line when they introduced Ford car. And then the third phase, early 1970s, further automation of the production using electronic and IT. And as you still remember, 1969, first programmable controller for machinery. And for those remember, for example, during 70s, when computer first started, we are using the punch card, okay, and then the machine is quite big. Now, as at today, this is the fourth phase or IR 4.0, networking and exchange of information between human and machine is rampant. So this is when people say IR 4.0, but some people says, but now we are in the beginning stage of IR 4.0. No, 5.0. Now, if you read the famous magazine Supply Chain Game Changer in August 2019, describe the characteristic of Industry 4.0 as below. Okay. The fourth industrial revolution is the era of smart machine. Okay. Storage system. So in the next slide, you can see I mentioned that storage system and production facilities that can autonomously exchange information, trigger action, and control each other without human intervention. So that's about the definition of IR 4.0 when we talk about 5.0. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the fourth industrial revolution is the era of smart machine, storage system, and production of facilities that can autonomously exchange information. So that means everything is in metric. So they talk each other, they connect each other, and they produce result as result of combination of all these elements. Now, This exchange of information is made possible with the industrial Internet of Things. So that's why people talk about IIoT as we know it today. So this is the key element in IR 4.0 that include number one, cyber physical system, i.e. a mechanical device that it is run by computer-based algorithm. So that is number one. Okay, the element cyber physical system, the computer based on algorithm. And number two, Internet of Things, interconnected network of machine device and vehicle embedded with computerized sensing, scanning, and monitoring capabilities. And number four, cloud computing, off-site network hosting and data backup. That means if previously when we mentioned about data backup, it is a physical copy being stored different from the office. So that is previously. But now the data backup is kept at the cloud. Now, lastly, cognitive computing, technological platform that employ artificial intelligence. So this is the thing when we talk about IR 4.0. Now, this is, as I mentioned earlier, now we are at the one step of our leg in IR 5.0. Less than a decade has passed since talk of Industry 4.0 first surfaced in manufacturing circle. Yet visionaries are already forecasting the next revolution, i.e. Industrial 5.0. Now we are already talking IR 5.0. If the current revolution emphasizes of transformation of factory into IoT-enabled smart facilities that utilize cognitive computing and interconnect via cloud servers, Industry 5.0 is set to focus on the return of human hand and minds into the industrial framework. What does it mean? If previously people only talk about machine doing things, but IR 5.0, the human aspect come into picture. Because why? When we talk about robotic, it is designed thing to do something. But when we talk IR 5.0, human factor will come into picture, i.e. the revolution in which man and machine reconcile and find ways to work together to improve the mean and efficiency of the production. Funny enough, the fifth revolution could already be underway among companies that are just now adopting the principle of Industry 4.0. Even when manufacturers start using advanced technologies, they are not instantly firing vast swath of their workforce and becoming entirely computerized. That means even though people talk about IR 4.0, machine, all those things, but human factor is still vital to make things happen. Now, when we talk about IR 4.0, is it this IR 4.0 belong to the Western civilization? And then we should not forget that for Muslim, we are also the champion in inventing something that related to technologies. For example, many Muslim scholars, as I listed in the slide, these are the scholars that contribute to the revolution of the industry. For example, Thabit Ibn Qura, he was the one founder of static and first reformer of the Ptolemaic system. Uh, he was the astronomer, mathematician, and physician. Same thing with Ibn Sina. He, he was the one who contributed in the medicine. So this the thing that contributed by Muslim scholar. Now, this is invention by Muslim. Now, I think you know that Muslim invented coffee, camera, flying machine, maps, clock, surgical instrument, music, algebra, and also the university, meaning which Muslims are the one who started or developed a higher institution of education by setting up universities in Middle East. If you still remember, people always say that Al Azhar is the first university in the world, but some scholars believe the first university started not in Egypt, but in Morocco, something like that. Okay, so this is the invention by Muslim. Now, also we still remember that in the world civilization, there was a time we call it the Islamic Golden Age, whereby all the economic and scientific invention flourished in the Muslim countries. So if you still remember that Baghdad in Iraq, they call it House of Wisdom, whereby all the scholars, various part of the world, they came to Baghdad to learn. Okay, so and then we also know that Arabic is the knowledge language at that time. So many books written by Muslim being referred by Western scholars, and many invention or the many economic concept were introduced by Muslim scholars. So meaning which that we Muslim also playing very important part in the industrial revolution. But the historian always say that industrial revolution started by the Western. But this is the job by the Muslim historian to change the face to include Muslim contribution in the industrial revolution era. So now for the next slide, I also put a data. So because nowadays it is very important that we should refer anything that change the world order, we must refer the data. So if you see the data, this you can find in the internet, that most non-Muslim country are the one at the top of countries that higher GDP. Okay, it is all Western world. Because why? Their GDP are very high. So one of the factors that they are the one who play important role in developing the world economy. That is one of the reason. You see top 20 it is all a non-Muslim country. United States, China, Germany, India, France, United Kingdom, Italy, Brazil, Canada, etc., etc. This is a non-Muslim country. So where are we? Our scholars, our scientists, not focusing our energy or our in doing research, etc. So this is the thing we have to relook back. So, and table 2 also mentioned about the GDP per capita. Okay, GDP, we also left behind. Okay, that's mean we are a poor countries. Okay, poor countries. So this is the table that I think everybody should have a look, and then to do the rethinking, how to make our countries become better countries economically. Now, the next slide, I should say that the impact of IR 4.0 to our world. Now, I stated here that the speed of current breakthrough has so historical precedent when compared with what will happen. Moreover, it is disrupting almost every industry in every country. And the breadth and depth of these changes herald the transformation of entire system of production, management, and governance. So this is the impact of 4.0 before pandemic. Okay. The possibility of billions of people connected by mobile devices with unprecedented processing power, storage capacities, and access to knowledge are unlimited. And this possibility will be multiplied by emerging technologies breakthrough in the fields such as artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, autonomous vehicle, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, etc., etc. This is the impact of IR 4.0 to our world. But because of pandemic, okay, because of the pandemic, the impact is huge. The impact of huge, you can, I think you read in the newspaper, so many big companies closed down, as for example, a major airline, total loss. Malindo Airline, for example, ceased operation. Air Asia ceased operation. Malaysian Airline, for example. Similarly, big hotel, big corporation. So this is as result of if 4.0, people predicted that many corporations have to change their style or the way of doing things, but pandemic make it worse. Pandemic make it worse, and then for big corporation, they have to do a different way of doing things. So this is, and then, for example, the impact of IR 4.0 to government. Okay, to the government, the IR 4.0, that now government can control the country is very different way of doing things. For example, now because of pandemic, government can control where you are going. Okay, you have to scan QR code wherever place you go. Okay, then similarly, that nowadays you can work from home, for example, and then this is the new thing happen. First, it is make easy for the government to do things, and number two, make easy for the government to control the population. Okay, because the surveillance system is can be used right now. So this is as far as government. So that's why you can see if previously very difficult to get passport, all those things. Now it is very easy to deal with government, also very easy. If you want to do business with government, very easy. For example, previously you can only get your passport within 2 weeks. Now, after 1 hour, you will get your passport. So this is the changing technology, bring more convenience to the people, but also the government also very easy to monitor the population. Okay, this is the impact to the government. Now we should see the impact of IR 4.0 to people. Now, this is very important. If previously we always say that we want our privacy, everything, but now because of IR 4.0, our identity can easily be identified by third party. I give you example. Now people know what is your liking, which place do you like to go, which product you want to use. Okay, and most likely, for example, when you want to go for holiday, okay, which hotel you want to stay. So everything can be monitored, can be identified. So for example, for those who like to do shopping online, okay, you want to buy something and suddenly the advertisement crop up in your on your screen, say if you want to buy another thing. So this is the technology being developed in line with the big data. So that's mean our identity is not really secret, not really confidential. So this is thing as a result of IR 4.0. Now, as I mentioned here, the IR 4.0, we need to develop our career, cultivate our skill, meet people, and nurture relationship. It is already changing our health and leading to a qualified self. And sooner than we think, it may lead to human augmentation. What does it mean? That means many other things. Previously, only human being can perform the task, but now it is performed by a machine, for example. So this is the impact of IR 4.0 to people. Now, next, the impact of IR 4.0 to university. Now, we acknowledge that the effect of IR 4.0 is unthinkable. Okay, unthinkable. What would happen to the institution of higher learning? We recognize that innovation is the keyword describing the main element in IR 4.0. Therefore, every component in higher institution should ready to play a new and bigger role this new era of the world. If we consider institutions of higher learning are factories that produce new labor force in the market, they need to produce students with innovative ideas and new skill set. Based on the trend so far, researchers predict that IR 4.0 will necessitate profound changes in major aspects of education, content, delivery, pedagogy, and structure management of education. So that means gone are the days that people say universities are ivory tower. everybody want to go to universities that time. Okay, but now no more. Universities need to attract people to come to the university. So this is a new people want to have a new skill set. Now, the predicted landscape of IR 4.0, these technologies have broken the boundaries between the virtual reality and the real world. The idea behind Industry 4.0 is to create a social network where machines can communicate with each other, called the Internet of Things, and with people, they call Internet of People. Then the landscape of this era consists of four components. Number one, cyber physical system, Internet of Things, smart factory, and Internet of Services. Okay. And we also believe that IR 4.0 provide challenges such as security, capital, privacy, and employment. In terms of employment, nobody could provide the crystal ball prediction. What does it mean? The last one. So if you are the qualified accountant, not necessarily that you can become accountant in the future. So now more so because of COVID-19, it is we have a disruption in the career of the people. For example, currently pilot also selling laksa, pilot also selling nasi lemak, and general managers also nowadays doing different things. Now, for example, a major change to employment, people are talking about big data. Okay. Now, having big data now is the gold mine for the company, because with big data, we will know what are the demand for the people. And then robot assisted production, self-driving logistic. So vehicle, for example, previously we cannot think that the car can drive by itself or the lorry can drive by itself, but it happened now. For example, we couldn't find pilot in our train. It is all controlled automatically. And then we have production line simulation, predictive maintenance, and machine as a service. So this is the change landscape to the employment. So people always asking me because of COVID, what happened? So we can see that now the booming industry are the health product, and then the delivery system. Okay. But we also have many benefit of IR 4.0. Okay. For example, we have enhanced productivity through production and automation. And then we also have real-time data for real-time supply chain in the real-time economy. So everything real-time. Greater business continuously through advanced maintenance and monitoring possibilities. higher quality product as a result of real-time monitoring, IoT enable quality improvement and robot, better working condition and superior sustainability, and personalization opportunities that will earn the trust on the consumer. Now, of course, this is the benefit of IR 4.0. Okay, without taking pandemic into the picture. But because of the pandemic, now the IoT and artificial intelligence become more important because everything now people communicating and people doing things through smartphone. Okay, this is what I want to emphasize. But now anything when you want to do business, uh, people we use smartphone as the means of communicating and the means of doing business. I should mention with smartphone, either you make money or you spend your money through that phone. Either you make money or you spending money. So because of the pandemic, we have the opportunity to make Malaysia or any other country of the world can make their country great again. Now, I just list the element that make our country great. So I will not elaborate, but I should say that for Bill saying, Rome wasn't built in the day, okay, not in the day. So everybody have a task to rebuild the country again because of the pandemic. So more so, those in the academic world, I do believe that you have to play very important role in develop our economy, especially develop the human capital. So for example, in the next slide, I should mention now, we must believe that people is the key asset and developing the economy. Okay, that means we are the people play important role in building back our country or our economy. Okay, it is stated in chapter Al-Am verses 165. Okay, it is human being or people are the most important element in developing of the economy. I do believe because of this pandemic, we have the opportunity to create and develop a people with two main criteria. Number one, educated and pious. So this is very important and become conduit to this new world order. Okay, so those the lecturers, associate professor, and professor, you have to think differently. You have to think differently. You cannot remain just like before. Try to think how to adopt yourself in this new world order because education is important. Okay, to develop or to prepare a new generation of people that cope with this IR 4.0, also the pandemic 19. So, as I mentioned, to be effective and efficient in promoting and adopting IR 4.0, so the higher education play important role. Okay, because the transformation in education has two main components. Number one, transform education across discipline in terms of content, delivery, management, and devise special education degree program to develop technical manpower to support IR 4.0. To cope with the quicker cycle of disruptive changes, one has to make lifelong learning and permanent part of professional life. This may in turn need new way of recognizing and certifying workplace-based learning. This is the require new partnership between educational institution and industry. Application of big data, analytic, and teaching and learning will shape future of the adaptive learning. So that's meaning what? Meaning there is a possibility that in the future university, you are not the factory that produce students with degree or diploma, but university will become a factory to produce students with a different skill set. Okay, different skill set. Maybe you are the one who teach the student and guide the student how to adopt the changing environment, how to live without thinking that they want to work with other people. So they must think how to live among themselves. Now, this is the changing in the future. This is I just got yesterday when I attended one program. They are talking about the changing technology in the future. They mention about all these things. Okay, about the adoption of technology, new technology, increasing availability of big data, mobile internet, advance in artificial intelligence, advance in cloud technology, etc., etc. So we are talking about a new thing in life. We are talking about the use of smartphone, because I still remember yesterday in the room about 100 participants in the room. Only one person using old Nokia phone. The rest all using smartphone with Android, etc. So that means nowadays people are used to use apps. Okay, people used to use WhatsApp, all those things. Okay, nowadays I think everybody know how to order goods from the apps. For example, Amazon, Lazada, Shopee, etc., etc. This is the new thing, new way of life. And in the seminar, the participants show us now even you can buy vegetable, kangkong, etc. Through online. Everything. Of course, you just can stay at home, you buy things, no need to go to supermarket or many market. So this is the new thing happening to us. What has happened, it is happened. So as a academic, you must aware these changes. So, and for example, in the future, people will no longer use fiat money. Okay, people will use cryptocurrency. People will no longer carry cash, but they carry handphone, which is inside we have e-wallet. Okay, I think nowadays you still remember. Previously, you can pay cash at the toll. Now no more. You must have touch and go. So this happened. In the future, people come to university, they just bring their smartphone. So, for example, last time when I was at the university, when I give lectures, student will listen. I talk about any type of concept or theory. People cannot validate the theory, but nowadays you cannot. If you mention about certain theory, a student will start Google. They will ask Professor Google, okay, whether it is true. There will be there is a such theory. Now, as concluding remark, there will be a new landscape in every aspect of the world. Okay, we talk about many IoT, artificial intelligence, robotic, etc., etc. But the most important thing, okay, in the future, business transaction will be at our fingertip and using smartphone. And then you must also remember that universities will be occupying just a normal bungalow. Okay, those with huge building have to redesign and transform into manufacturing building or residential block or maybe a big uh, plant, because students are no longer required to attend a normal classroom. So because of COVID, it is happened much faster. Students no need to come to the university for the classroom. Instead, they will be using smartphone to communicate with lecturers and fellow students. Many people will be out of job and government has to spend more money in social sector. You can see now the government spend a lot of money to help people. People believe accountant and lawyers are no longer elite profession. Those who have skill in big data, IoT, and artificial intelligence are in great demand. Therefore, everybody need to embrace these new technologies. Otherwise, we will become people who live in the world of yesterday. And those, as a Muslim believers, if we do not change to accommodate these new technologies, so Islam will be never be known as a progressive religion. So we need to be progressive and embrace ourselves to this new changing environment of the world. So with that note, I say thank you to the organizer. And if you have any question, please ask from the organizer. My email and also my mobile number. You can communicate with me anytime. So this is a changing environment. You can communicate with anybody for that matter, to share the knowledge, to express your views. So inshallah, I will accommodate or reply whatever WhatsApp or email addressed to me. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Before I leave the seminar room, I like you to watch this video and then think yourself that this is a real thing will happen to our economy and to our world. So please enjoy your watching. Thank you very much.
Technology is the future of the market. Technology navigates human civilization, entering the 5G era with the new development trend of isolated economy. Prime, a new technology investment group, has carried out a decisive strategy in their deployment for the Southeast Asian market. It acquired the blockchain social e-commerce platform Richmore and will develop a multifunctional blockchain technology application 2.0. The planned blockchain technology research and development includes Prime Connect, Prime Chat, Prime Pay, and other functions. And this technology research and development will disrupt the traditional e-commerce platform scene and integrate with offline businesses, including mining, plantation, and medical businesses, in order to expand a larger economic sector. PRAS, Prime Recursion Analytic System, developed by Prime, are the combination of recursive algorithm calculation by Thomas Pio and big data structured by Trent Johnston. In the beginning of 2018, PRAS, the big data system, was developed by PrimeTech. The data of infamous leading companies known globally such as Google, Taobao, Ctrip, Meituan, Didi, Amazon, etc. has been collected by Prime's crawler scripts tech and repetitively verified using the recursive algorithms. The advantages created by PRA's big data are based on Prime's capability in developing multiple highly intelligent systems to precisely identify consumer needs. Hence, the outcome of PRAS has resulted as the enterprise's core values. Prime manages major sectors with technology-based investment and capital operation and builds a top electronic technology financial system. Through the e-commerce community and the market influence of big data, Prime will create a win-win community platform for merchants and users, perform the listing operation for the overall business, and lead the future of technology.
Thank you very much, Datuk, for a very insightful speech. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the conclusion of today's event. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to all the distinguished guests and members of the room for making this event a success. Also, thanks to our participants, because without them, we could not realize this program, and it has been a great day and a wonderful morning with the presence of all of you. Please allow me to read a quote by Stuart Brand. We can see the past but not influence it. We can influence the future but not see it. Let us all be guided by all the things we have learned and heard throughout the conference and be able to see and influence our future. Before we end, I would like to remind about the announcement of the Best Paper Award and the Poster Award is at 4:45 p.m. today. Thank you very much for your kind attention. With that, thank you and have a pleasant day. Good luck and see you later.